You picked up your phone just to check the time. That was 45 minutes ago. You sat down for one episode. That was 3 episodes ago. You said just one more scroll. That was your entire evening ago. You are not weak. You are not undisciplined. You are not failing at life. You are a human being with a brain that was built in a world that no longer exists, being targeted by systems specifically engineered to exploit exactly how that brain works. And understanding this changes everything. Here's what addiction actually is. Not just drugs, not just alcohol. The same mechanism that makes substances addictive is the same mechanism being activated by your phone, your feed, your favorite food, your online shopping, even your worrying. At the center of it is one chemical, dopamine. Not the pleasure chemical. That's the misunderstanding. Dopamine is the wanting chemical, the seeking chemical, the more chemical. It doesn't make you feel satisfied. It makes you want to feel satisfied. And then it takes the satisfaction away so you want again. It is the engine of desire, not the destination. And you cannot turn it off. You are not designed to turn it off. Here's the thing about your brain that makes you vulnerable. It was built for a world of scarcity, where pleasure was rare, where food was uncertain, where connection was survival. And in that world, the brain that pursued pleasure most aggressively survived. The brain that could not stop eating when food was available survived the famine. The brain that couldn't stop connecting built the tribe that survived. Your addiction-prone brain is the legacy of every ancestor who survived because they couldn't stop. You are not broken. You are a survival machine in a world of infinite abundance that your ancient brain was never designed to navigate. But here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Not all addictions are the same, and not all people are equally vulnerable. Research shows that the brain's dopamine system varies significantly between individuals. Some people have naturally higher dopamine sensitivity. For them, the reward feels bigger, the pull feels stronger, the crash feels harder. These are often the same people who are intensely creative, intensely curious, intensely alive to experience. The same sensitivity that makes the addiction possible also makes the aliveness possible. The thing that makes you vulnerable is also the thing that makes you extraordinary. And here's the part about modern addiction that is genuinely new in human history: variable reward. This is the mechanism at the heart of every app, every social media platform, every slot machine. You don't know what you're going to get. Maybe something interesting, maybe nothing. But the maybe is more addictive than the certainty. Your brain produces more dopamine in anticipation of a possible reward than it does receiving a guaranteed one. This is why you can't stop scrolling. Not because every post is interesting, because the next one might be. The uncertainty is the trap. The maybe is the hook. And someone in a room somewhere built this specifically for your brain, specifically knowing how dopamine works, specifically knowing that you would come back. So what do? Because knowing you're being manipulated doesn't make the pull disappear. You cannot willpower your way out of a dopamine trap, but you can do something different. You can redesign your environment. Not your willpower, your environment. Put the phone in another room, not because you're strong enough not to reach for it, but so reaching for it requires a decision. That gap between impulse and action is where your freedom lives. Create friction between you and the thing. because your brain will always take the path of least resistance. Your job is not to resist. Your job is to make the path to what you actually want the one that requires the least resistance. You are not addicted because you are weak. You are addicted because you are human, with a brain that was designed for a world that rewarded pursuit, in a world that has turned pursuit into a product. Knowing that does not excuse anything, but it changes something. It moves the conversation from "why can't I stop?" to "what is actually happening here?" And that question is always the beginning of something real. Share this with someone who can't put their phone down. They need to understand what's happening to them.